Hello, I'm Rob Phillips, and welcome to my channel, where I teach you how to live a more balanced and present life through yoga and meditation. Today we're going to be doing a 30-minute Yin Yoga sequence where we really focus on the cultivation of mindfulness of the body. Now, in Buddhist philosophy, mindfulness of the body is considered to be the first foundation of mindfulness. It's the starting point for practice, really one of the most accessible and tangible ways to cultivate our skills and awareness. Having said that, though, mindfulness of the body is a complete practice in and of itself. So if we really focus on it, if we really learn to experience this deeper connection, lots of wonderful insights can come just from that. Now, in terms of props for today, I'm going to recommend having a blanket. I'll also recommend having a couple of blocks. So gather all of your props, and when you're ready to get started here, we'll find our way in a comfortable seat to begin. So just remember, as you set up your seat here, that you're welcome to use blankets, you're welcome to use blocks. Make sure you feel comfortable to be here for at least a few minutes. And if seated isn't a great place for you to start, you're also welcome to start just lying down flat on your back. But once you've found a posture here, if you're going to be seated, you can have your hands rest on your knees or maybe into your lap. Definitely take a few moments to elevate nice and upright through the spine, relaxing the shoulders and closing your eyes here. And beginning in a really deep way to feel this connection with the physical body, to feel this connection with your form. We tend to talk about the body as if it's one thing, but of course it has many, many different parts. And even on a sensory level, there's so many different ways that we can connect with the sense of the body and time here. What I'm going to recommend to start with is to feel the foundation of the earth beneath you. Feel that tangible connection with the ground or with the floor. Notice that stable sense. Notice that rooted, grounded sort of sense of things. That can be a place that we keep coming back to. It can be a place that we keep connecting with again and again throughout the sequence. On top of that foundation, notice the overall alignment of the body, feeling a sense of height in the spine, feeling a sense of lift all the way up and through the crown of your head. Within the body here, feel the movements of your breath. That fluid, more subtle, kind of energetic sense. Even a sense of the skin here. Maybe you notice the weight of the clothing on your body. Maybe some movements of air in the room, or the temperature of the room. Again, all of these are aspects of connecting with the body here, finding that mindfulness, finding that awareness. Now, as we settle here for just another minute or so, can we begin to get the sense of just how fluid the experience of the body can be? Just how dynamic and changing that experience of the body can be here. No two moments are the same, and even though to an outside observer we'd seem to be just sitting perfectly still, of course our internal experience is very much not like that. There's always a bunch of subtle shifts happening here. So rest with that here, maybe 2 or 3 more breaths. Feel that connection with the physical body through all of the various forms that might take. Let's take a gentle inhale breath here through our nose. Gentle exhale breath out our mouth. And lower our chin down and gradually begin to open our eyes. From here, let's extend our legs forwards, and we'll start out relaxing, just kind of shake things out for a few seconds. From here, we're going to set up into butterfly pose. So we're going to take our feet together with our knees apart. You can have our feet a little further out for the intention today. Feel free to use your blocks to support yourself under the legs, or even if you're not using them that way, I might recommend having your blocks here in front of you, something like this. Take a moment to lengthen through your spine as you inhale. Exhaling, relaxing your way forward, finding your first edge here. As we set up our edge, just remembering when we practice this way that while there's some intention to feel the poses, we're certainly working with the body in this direct way here. Nothing we feel in the body should ever become aggressive or sharp in quality. Nothing should ever feel intense, nowhere near the threshold of pain. And so if you do feel those stronger sensations, remember to back out, to leave the pose early even if needed. Treat the body kindly here, and the practice will definitely reward you. Here, of course, continuing with our theme, with our exploration for today, start to notice in this new setup, in this first kind of proper pose, we might say, how is your body responding to being here? What sort of effects are arising? We can still feel that foundation. We can still notice the ground beneath us, that stable sort of sense. Can we notice any push or pull on the tissues, maybe into the hips or the inner thighs? Maybe noticing some release happening on the back body here. Can you notice the movements of breath? Subtle rise and fall, a subtle expansion and contraction here. As you relax, as you release into this pose, just become aware of all of the subtle shifts that are arising. All of the almost microscopic movements, the evolution of the pose in each moment. And again, I really encourage you as we relate to the body to feel this awareness that no two moments are the same here. Our experience is constantly in a state of flux, and these physical bodies, which we tend to think of as being solid or fixed, are actually anything but that. And they're these vibrant, living things. For now, we'll take just one more breath like this, and we can slowly now begin to inhale and roll our way up from that fold. As you come up here, take a moment and release the legs, shake them out, let them move, maybe similar action for the shoulders, for the upper back. Having worked that out, we're going to take a short pause. I'm going to recommend, if it's comfortable, resting in a child's pose. So anticipating where we're going, you might grab a hold of your blanket, set it up something like this. You might set up your blocks somewhere near the front of the mat as well. But first, just setting up here in a resting position, sending the hips back, extending the torso forwards, generally relaxing here, and just take a few breaths to feel how the body's responding to that first pose that we just finished. Notice the lasting effects. Noticing almost like an echo or a reverberation from the time we just spent there. From here now, let's set up for our next pair of poses, which is going to be our dragon pose, or our Yin Yoga low lunge. So definitely recommend that you pad your knees here, give yourself a bit of base, give yourself a bit of a cushion. You might appreciate having your blocks here, and we're going to step our right foot forwards to come into a deep low lunge. So we want to align our right knee so that it's more or less over the right heel. You want to use that to create stability, to create kind of a sense of ease here. Shifting your weight so that you're not compressing that back kneecap, and hands could be on the blocks. Hands could be on the floor if that's comfortable too. Find an alignment where we can certainly feel the pose, but with no intensity, nothing too much going on here. Although, as we'll see very soon, this by its nature is a somewhat stronger pose. We're doing a bit more direct work with the body by being here. And so, as you tune into the shape, again, feeling a sense of connection with the pose. Feeling a real sense of awareness of the experience of being here in your body, in this moment. Feeling, again, the earth beneath you. You can feel that through your hands and your feet in this pose. Feeling any stretch, any push or pull, and for many of us in this pose, we'll feel a bit more of that going on. It's generally a stronger pose, we would say. Again, as long as we're treating the body safely, can we work with that? Can we relax with it? Can we let go of any resistance that we might be feeling towards it? Even here, where we're working a little more directly, we can feel a certain sense of softness, perhaps, noticing the breath. That easy, kind of natural rise and fall of things. If we notice any gripping or tightness, as we tune into that, see if you can invite a sense of softening, sense of releasing. Again, really feeling this deep connection with your experience here. Really feeling an awareness of just what it's like to be here in your body, in this moment. Take that in for just a few more slow breaths, just a few more moments right here. Final moment to feel the pose, and really do take your time as you come out here. You might shift, you might rock back and forth. You can release that right leg behind you, shake it out that way. Anything at all that feels good, that feels pretty natural here. We'll take a short pause again, so I'm going to recommend child's pose if that's comfortable. Anywhere else could certainly work if this is not a comfortable pose for your body, but take a few breaths and again feel what we might call like the echo or the bounce back. The natural response as we leave that somewhat stronger pose that we just finished. Take a few slightly deeper breaths, working with that. Feel any sense of vibrance or fluidity again, whereas that pose had kind of a stable, almost even a hard quality to it, we could say. In our transition, feel the balancing softness, that lighter, kind of easier quality. And all of these are ways to relate to this experience of being here in our physical bodies. From here, let's set up for our second side. So again, I'm going to recommend patting your knees, giving yourself a good base, giving yourself a good cushion. From there, we'll step our left foot forwards and come into our lunge. And again, we want to align the knee over the heel just for stability so that we don't have to work quite as hard to maintain the shape. I might recommend grabbing your blocks here. That's optional, but I think many of us would appreciate that extra level of height, that extra level of support to work with. And then once you've got things dialed up here, you can shift your weight until things feel natural, finding an alignment that's working well for you. Engaging just enough to maintain the pose, but relaxing enough here that there's a stretch, that there's an opening happening. And just appreciating that while this pose may be challenging, it should not feel intense or unbearable. Use your alignment in your favor so that there's still that possibility of relaxing. Still that possibility of letting go here. And again, can we really notice? Can we really tune in and feel the quality of being in our bodies here? Work from the ground up. Start with the foundation. Start with a sense of stability beneath you. And feel everything else that builds from that foundation, the rest of the pose, the rest of our alignment here. What could you let go of here? What could you soften or release here? Feel any subtle sense of shifting or opening. Again, feel how the experience of being in this body is an ongoing state of flow. No two moments are the same. Whenever we tune in, what we feel is a unique snapshot in time. And I'd say even as soon as we've taken that snapshot, some new state will have arisen. Let's rest with that here in this dragon lunge for a few more moments. A few more nice deep breaths. Taking your final moment here to feel the shape. Slowly beginning to release, finding your way out. Again, I invite you to move, to reset, any way at all that feels natural, any way that kind of intuitively works for you. This time around, once you've worked that all out, we're going to find our way forwards and onto our belly, and we'll take a resting pose there, and that's also going to be kind of the entry point for our next shape too. So lying down here and relaxing completely, and I always make a note, I'll have my chest a little lifted because I am wearing a microphone. But for you all at home, really completely relax here, really completely settle. Let the body just be cradled by the floor. Even feeling a sense almost like you're melting into it, really releasing towards the ground. Take a few deep breaths here and just feel. Again, that lighter, vibrant, more quality of body. That more pleasant, kind of easy quality, especially coming out of a stronger pose like our dragon lunge. Take just maybe 3 more breaths here to reset. Giving ourselves a nice pause before we move on into our next pose. From here, we're going to set up into a sphinx shape, a mild back bend. So in essence here, we're lifting up into our chest. We're rising up onto our elbows, rising up onto our forearms. Whenever I teach this, I like to just be clear that there's so many ways to fine-tune this. You can have the elbows closer or wider. Personally, for my body, I like prayer hands, kind of lifting the chest a little bit higher. Find a version that feels natural, that seems to make sense for you. We intend to feel a mild, kind of light compression in the lower back. If that compression becomes strong or sharp, you're going to want to back out. Of course, trust your intuition on that, like everything that we do here. And relaxing the body in general, use the alignment of the skeleton so that we don't need to work so much through our muscles. We can still kind of ease into this. Making sure legs are relaxed, making sure the abdomen is nice and relaxed here. And again, just tuning in, really noticing, really observing what it feels like for you to be here. Really taking in this experience of being here in your body, in this moment. How does that experience shift and evolve little by little? In terms of effort, in terms of resistance, what might you be able to let go of here? What might you be able to release so that you could instead feel a bit more at ease here? Keep tuning in, keep noticing all of this for just a few more moments, just a few more slow breaths. Take a final complete breath like you are here. Slowly exhale to release and to lower all the way down towards your mat. Take a few deep breaths here for a nice pause, for a nice moment of reset. And having left the pose, feel that vibrance, feel that lightness, and take just a few more slow breaths here to really connect with that, to really work with that. And from here, we're going to shift and we're going to find our way all the way onto our back. So you can basically roll yourself over in place, flip yourself over. And as you lie down here, take a few moments and feel the shift of the alignment, feel the shift of our setup. Again, connecting, connecting with your body as it is right here. From here on our back, we're going to come into a pose that I think I have not actually taught on this channel, but it's one of my favorites. It's called banana pose. It's a nice release for the whole side body. So we're going to walk both feet in. Knees will be bent. We're going to pick up our pelvis, pick up our hips, and move to the right, creating horizontal movement. With the hips lower down here, you'll extend the legs nice and long and move them over to the left so that as they move to the left, you'll feel stretch on the side body. Consider crossing your right ankle over the top. That's optional. And then finally, to really dial this in, you're going to take your arms up and over your head here to create a reach. And forgive me, setting my timer here. There we go. So you'll reach your arms up and over to the left so that now you feel this big side stretch on the whole right side of your body. Relax into this, settle into this. Should be almost no effort happening. Should really be completely relaxed, completely still here. And I say that knowing I'm about to contradict myself because, of course, we're never really still, right? Being in this body, really feeling a sense of connection, we notice everything is always in a state of flux. No two moments are ever the same as one another. So be with that here. Feel how the body responds, all the various sensations that may show up for you. Really relax into that experience. Really work with that experience here through each moment. One more complete breath right here. Slowly unravel the body here, release the arms, uncross or undo the legs. Shift to settle back into the middle of your mat. Take a good few breaths. Just a short pause, resetting here for a few moments. And feel the body respond. Feel a sense of echo, sense of bounce back from the work we just finished. Setting up for second half of that banana shape here, let's walk our feet in, our knees will be bent. Pick up the pelvis, the hips, move any amount over to the left here to create a side bend. We'll extend the legs long out towards the right, maybe the left ankle would cross on top. Shoulders move a bit to the right, and then finally our arms reach up and overhead to the right here. So that as this all comes together, you'll feel a nice release all on the left side of your body. With that set up here, with eyes closed, relaxing, releasing to the earth. Can we really experience, can we really feel all of the possibilities of being in our body here in this moment? Feel, again, as well, how no two moments are the same. Constant state of flow, constant state of change here. Take a final complete breath here like you are. Slowly unravel the body. Release your way out of the pose. Settle into the center of your back and take a brief pause just to kind of get that initial bounce back, that initial release of things. But then make any adjustments, make any kind of final preparations for Shavasana, for a final rest. You can spread out onto the floor. You could even grab your blanket, cover the hips if you'd like, but finding a place where you can be very much at rest, very much still and supported. Close your eyes and just take a final moment here to scan through the body and ensure that you're no longer controlling, even in the most subtle way. For these next few minutes, we'll of course naturally feel the body, but we don't need to make a task of that. Just relax, even if the mind drifts away. That's not a problem at this point. And let's take a gentle inhale breath here through our nose. Open up your mouth to exhale and let absolutely everything go here for these final few minutes. So just taking a final few moments as you are here on your back to tune in, to notice and observe what you've let go of even during those final few minutes. Feeling as the breath deepens, starting to invite small movements, and over time allowing those movements to help you roll onto your side, and then to gently press up into a comfortable seat with your eyes closed. As you rise up here, one final moment, really feel this connection with the body, the breath. Feel ultimate culmination of your practice for today. And join the hands in front of the heart. So as always, my thanks to each of you for sharing your practice. It is truly an honor to teach. As we say, the light within me salutes the light within you. Namaste. So again, thank you so very much for joining me for this practice. If you have any thoughts, questions, or observations, let me know in the comments down below. Do stay tuned. I'm going to also be uploading a 15-minute seated meditation as a complement to this, where we explore some of the same themes. Finally, and maybe most importantly here, if you haven't yet, consider subscribing to my channel and consider giving this video a like, because it's one of the best ways to help my channel grow and thrive here on YouTube.